What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So Eddie Hearn says that Dillian Whyte thinks that he's Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, and he's putting himself and his price range in the same ballpark as these two gentlemen, and he's not them. And I have to agree with Eddie Hearn because with this situation, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, both champions. Tyson Fury was a champion, undefeated, and had to relinquish his belts due to outside the ring situations. Deontay Wilder is the longest reigning champion in the sport of boxing. So when you deal in negotiations, when it comes to that aspect, you can't put yourself in the same price range as them. Which I don't think that Dillian Whyte is putting himself in that same price range. I think that Dillian Whyte just wants to be considered and recognized for the accomplishments that he's accomplished in 2018. Dillian Whyte did put himself, build his profile in 2018 by beating Joseph Parker, beating Derek Chisora in both exciting fights. So Dillian Whyte did elevate his profile in 2018. But Dillian Whyte also was knocked out by Anthony Joshua in the seventh round, within 7 rounds. So and that's his claim to fame outside of building his profile for the year 2018. And with that said, you cannot price yourself. You can't put yourself in the same atmosphere as Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury when it comes to negotiations with Anthony Joshua, because their accomplishments is much different and much greater than what he's accomplished thus far, right? Tyson Fury beat Vladimir Klitschko before Anthony Joshua beat him, so he's the man to beat the man, making himself the lineal champion, right? And Tyson Fury is still undefeated. Deontay Wilder beat Luis King Kong Ortiz, then he fought Tyson Fury. He's already beaten Bermane Stiverne twice for the WBC title. Dillian Whyte has never became a champion, right? He's never done that. He's not a champion. And he will have to beat Anthony Joshua or Deontay Wilder to become champion, or should Deontay Wilder be victorious against Tyson Fury, right? And with that said, so he is trying to put himself in a position to become champion. And oddly enough, in the sport of boxing today, where there's so many belts, there's only 2 champions in his division. He's in the heavyweight division, where there's no way to go up or there's no way to go down. You know what I mean? So to capture a belt, and there's not 10,000 belts floating around, where Anthony Joshua holds the majority and Deontay Wilder holds the difference, right? And so I don't personally think that Dillian Whyte thinks that he's worth or asking for the same price tag as Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury. But I do think that he understands the position that Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua are in, and he understands that he should have stayed on his square and demand what he thinks he's worth. And I agree with him, right? Because he understood that their backs were against the wall, and they had to overpay, to go out of the realm, to go out of their comfort zone, that Eddie Hearn put it, to overpay due to the situation. And they can't get another champion because Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder are going to face each other in the rematch, right? And so Dillian Whyte asked for about $7 million, which is not ridiculous. It's not out the stratosphere. It's not something that's so far-fetched that it's so ridiculous, because they did overpay Charles Martin almost $9 million, $8.6 million to face him, although Charles Martin was the IBF champion, but he won it by default, beating Glasgow, and Glasgow was injured in the fight, and that's why Charles Martin was awarded a victory and the IBF title. And so essentially they bought that strap, the IBF strap, from Charles Martin, right? So they paid Charles Martin almost $9 million. So Dillian Whyte is a much better fighter than Charles Martin. But on the same token, Anthony Joshua's already knocked Dillian Whyte out. So why overpay Dillian Whyte at this point in time to run it back? It's not like it was a close fight. It went to a draw. Or, people thought that Dillian Whyte won, and some people thought that Anthony Joshua won, like the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder situation, because it's nothing like that. Anthony Joshua knocked Dillian Whyte out cold in the 7th round. So, anything, Anthony Joshua is doing Dillian Whyte a favor by giving him another shot. So Anthony Joshua doesn't feel like he should overpay Dillian Whyte You know, because he looks at the situation like, who is Dillian Whyte? Now, if this was Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua is dealing with in negotiations, then it's a total different story. So I understand what Eddie Hearn thinks is saying, and that Dillian Whyte thinks that he's Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, and he's not that. And Eddie Hearn also stated that he's building his profile. He's trying to put himself in the same conversation, but he's not there yet, especially in negotiations. So he can't demand such things that they demand because he's not there yet. And I agree with Eddie Hearn, right? So here's a few things that Eddie Hearn had to say regarding this situation. He says, I think with Dillian Whyte, he believes he represents the same value as Wilder and Fury, he said. Dillian's backing himself to get to the level of Fury and Wilder by continuing to build where he's gone for the past year. He's right up there in terms of profile right now. He's getting there, you know, but he's probably fourth behind AJ, Fury, and Wilder. And I understand what he's saying. Then he goes on to talk about his strategy in bringing Anthony Joshua to the States. And Dillian Whyte has never fought in the States, and Dillian Whyte should attempt to fight in the States to build his profile as well, stating that when Anthony Joshua fights here, Gerald Big Baby Miller, June 1st in Madison Square Garden in New York, that Anthony Joshua, his stock is going to go through the roof, and he'll be recognized in the boxing world as a superstar. Oddly enough, they already said that he's a superstar, but we know what it is, right? It's all propaganda, right? Rightfully so, and that's what a promoter is supposed to do in Eddie Hearn's shoes. He's supposed to put his fighter on the pedestal. That's what you're supposed to do. If you're a fighter, if you're a boxer, that's what you want from your promoter. You want him to stand behind you and tell the world that you're the best in the world. That's what a promoter is supposed to do. Fighters are supposed to fight. At some point in time, no fighters have to stand on their own square and grab the bull by the horns and take their career, you know, and push for certain fights, you know. But with that said, I do agree with Eddie Hearn with Dillian Whyte, but I don't think that Dillian Whyte is asking for, you know, the universe. You know, I think he's just asking for his worth. You know, $7 million. He was paid, rumored to be paid $5 million for the Derek Chisora fight. So if he's asking for $7 million for Anthony Joshua fight, that's not out the realm, right? That's not ridiculous of a demand, you know. So, you know, I understand where Eddie Hearn is coming from, but I understand, and I'm glad that Dillian Whyte stood on his square and demand his worth. And I hope that Gerald Big Baby Miller, my dude from New York, did the same thing. I hope he stood on his square because their backs were against the wall. They only could go the route of Dillian Whyte at Wembley Stadium, or they could have went the route of coming to the States and fighting Gerald Big Baby Miller because, oddly enough, Luis King Kong Ortiz was never an option. Never an option. And he's vying. He's vying to have the fight. You know, he said he'll take whatever they offer him. But, you know, Anthony Joshua mentioned his name and everybody got in a frenzy and said, oh, Joshua called out Luis King Kong Ortiz. But he didn't. He didn't call out Luis Ortiz. And Luis Ortiz is willing, able and willing to fight Anthony Joshua whenever, wherever. And for it's not going to be hard because he's not demanding big money. He said he'll take whatever they offer him to make the fight happen. So, but that's all I got for y'all, man. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV. All one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Road. Make sure you like and share these videos. So Eddie Hearn says that Dillian Whyte thinks he's in the same conversation in the same breath as Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, and he's just not that. He's overpricing himself. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.